Okay, so the Oklahoma Sooners, they explode on TCU on Black Friday, and you might look at the score and say, where was the defense for Oklahoma? Because you look at the box score, you look at the overall score, and it doesn't look too good in the defense's favor. But let me tell you, you put your defense out on the field that much, you would expect against a team like TCU. TCU is going to not only put up yards, but they're going to put up points as well. But guys, I want to hear from you. It's the day after Thanksgiving. So how was your Thanksgiving? What was your favorite dish that you had? And then, of course, drop your thoughts about the game. But we got to talk about, obviously, the big news that Dillon Gabriel returned a week after we really thought he had a concussion, right? And we thought, man, if this guy gets through concussion protocols this quickly, you would be really surprised because we haven't seen a player do that at Oklahoma in a while. Usually they're a little bit more tender, if that's the right word, with these players. But Oklahoma goes out there and they win this game 69-45. And this is in a fashion where we've had questions about the offense all year, and Jeff Lebby wanted to end the regular season with a bang and show everybody on their way out the door, hey, Dillon Gabriel, this man can throw for 400 yards, 3 touchdowns. Oh, and we also have a running back by the name of Gavin Sawchuk that can run for 130 yards and 3 touchdowns. So an A-plus performance by the offense today. Dillon Gabriel did have an interception, but in reality, it really didn't mean a whole lot there. Dillon Gabriel rushed for 36 yards. Tawee Walker rushed for 29. Shoot, you even saw Javante Barnes towards the end of the game get a snap. And you saw somebody we haven't seen all season get a snap. Emeka Megwa. Yeah, remember that running back that transferred in from Washington? He got to see the field today and had a 6-yard run on his only carry. So you look at it and you say, you feel pretty good about the performance from the offense for the Oklahoma Sooners, but you look at the defense and you say, all right, guys, you gave up 45 points. And then you go to the total yards and you say, you gave up 520 yards. Why? And again, I think it comes down to you put the offense out there and they're able to score kind of quick, and the defense is out there a lot, because I think at one point in the first quarter, I think they had ran like 39 plays and we'd only ran 10 by that time, right? So your defense at some point is going to get worn down. And although we have competitive depth, I don't think we have that kind of depth to be able to go that deep into our games with some of these teams. But in reality, you got to see everybody. You got to see Owen Heineke. You got to see Josiah Wagner, Samuel Omosigo. You got to see pretty much everybody in this game. Gentry was back, and it was great to see him there because he really makes a difference in the secondary. Billy Bowman had himself another pick 6. Not only does he have 6 interceptions on the season, he has 3 pick 6s this season. I think, yeah, and only one of them was within 30 yards. So a lot of them have been pretty long runs for him. Zach Schmidt goes 2 of 2 on field goals, 9 of 9 on extra points. So if you're an Oklahoma fan, you're glad to see that Zach Schmidt was kicking the ball well, because that's been a pain point for Oklahoma. You hold the TCU rushing to only 176 rushing yards. You would have liked to have seen that be about 150, but they threw the ball all over you. They got 344 passing yards, and that's expected because Josh Hoover, listen, they wanted to pass the ball a lot. Now, I think this was closer to about their average or a little bit under their average in terms of receiving or the passing. So I think if you're Oklahoma, you feel pretty good about holding them under their average for the passing game. And I mean, at this point, I think we all look at it and say, does Oklahoma get to keep Billy Bowman going into 2024? Because that man is an absolute stud for this defense. And I think a lot of us really question, hey, is this man going to get a 2nd or 3rd round grade? Because if he gets a 2nd or a 3rd round grade, you would expect that Billy Bowman's probably going to the NFL. Now, Danny Stutzman, on the other hand, I've heard that he might or might not stay. So you guys might want to keep your ears open for that one. Danny Stutzman might be in an Oklahoma uniform in 2024, which would be a huge boost to those linebackers. But Billy Bowman, that's going to be the question mark. And if you return him next year with Danny Stutzman and some of these other guys, this Oklahoma defense is going to be really good, right? Because we saw it make strides this year, but I don't think it was as far as long as we thought it was. But in year 3, you return this many guys, plus you got the new guys coming in and the guys that you had in 2023. You're going to have a lot of depth there in knowing Brenton Venables' defense and knowing how to play it. So you overlook up and down the board. Billy Bowman was your leading tackler with 9 total tackles, 4 solos. Danny Stutzman had 8 total tackles, 5 solos. He had half of a tackle for loss. And then you had Kendall Dolby at number 3 with 8 total tackles, 1 tackle for loss. So you look at it up and down the board, Oklahoma played pretty well. They exploded. They wanted to leave going out of the Big 12 and what looks like their last Big 12 game. I mean, they still have a chance to make the championship game, but in their last Big 12 regular season game, they wanted to make a statement, and they clearly did here. They said, you're not going to be able to score on us. You're not going to be able to keep up on us. You're not going to be able to get bowl eligible against Oklahoma. That's not what we do. We don't let teams get bowl eligible outside of our 6 and 7 season. So it looked like a decent crowd. A better crowd than I thought it would be on TV. So for those of you who know, normally I go to these games, but I'm smoking a turkey and a ham for my family's Thanksgiving dinner. We have extended family coming in, so we always do it the day after. It's just a little bit easier. So I'm smoking that, so I was not able to go to the game. So in rare fashion, I get to watch a home game at home. And I mean, it looked like the crowd, if you were there, I'd like to hear about the energy, but it looked like the crowd at least showed up a little bit. I'm curious to see how the tailgating scene was. But yeah, I mean, Oklahoma wins 69-45, and I'll go back tonight and I'll do a deeper watch into this, and we'll have Jay or Cooper on to break down a little bit deeper and kind of look at some of the plays that Oklahoma was running. But just in short, running through the stats, Oklahoma 30 first downs, TCU's 25. Oklahoma was 8 of 14 on third downs. TCU was 7 of 16. You had Oklahoma 2 of 2 on fourth downs. TCU was 1 of 3. Oklahoma 607 total yards to TCU's 520. Oklahoma had 400 passing yards, TCU's 344. Oklahoma had 207 rushing yards to TCU's 176. Penalties. Oklahoma played a pretty clean game, probably one of their cleaner games of the year. 5 penalties, 46 yards. TCU 7 penalties for 82. Oklahoma, they turned the ball over twice. Dillon Gabriel's interception, Gavin Freeman's muffed punt, and then you had TCU turn the ball over once. TCU won the time of possession 30 minutes 22 seconds to Oklahoma's 29 minutes 38 seconds. So in reality, time of possession really didn't matter there that much. Going into next season, one thing you want to see Oklahoma do is you want to see them be able to control the clock a little bit more. You want to see them be able to establish a strong running game, but also be able to sling the ball around when they need to. Because again, just like today, if your defense is out there that much, they're going to struggle at some level. You can't expect those defensive guys to go out there and continue to make stops as much as they should if they're not able to, you guys catch my drift. So, guys, I want to hear from you, and I want to hear what y'all's thoughts are. So if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like, hit that subscribe button, jump down in the comments below. You know what? Probably not tomorrow, but Sunday we will have a more in-depth recap of this game for you guys. So make sure you're tuning in there. Tomorrow we'll just probably react to some of the other games going around college football. But guys, want to hear from you. Tell me what you guys had on Thanksgiving. Tell me how the energy was in the stadium. What were your thoughts about the Oklahoma Sooners exploding to a 69 to